Hi, welcome to Flams in the Groove. I'm pretty sure that most of you already know how to play the rudiment, the flam. But one thing I definitely want to clarify is whenever I say right flam, I mean this flam. Okay, the one that goes left, right. Okay, flams are named by the main note, not by the grace note. Okay, so when I say left flam, it means right, left. Okay, all right, let's get into it. First groove. Eighth note rock groove, really simple, but the right hand is going to come off the hi-hat and play a flam on beat 4. Okay? Sounds like this. Okay, it's also possible to put a flam on beats 2 and 4. I don't particularly like to do that coming off the hi-hat, but I think something that's really cool is if you play both hands on the snare and flam on the 2 and 4, it really gives you a kind of a old school rock and roll vibe, and I really like that beat, and I've used it on different recordings. With this, I'm going to play, of course, right hand eighth notes, but I'm going to play a left flam on 2 and 4, okay? And just once again, simple bass drum on 1 and 3. Here it is. Okay, so now let's go back to just playing the flam on beat 4, but this time we're going to play the flam on the rim, okay? So if you're playing a groove with a rim click, okay, you can play a flam using the rim click and the right stick hitting the left. Okay, so let me explain this. I'm going to play left stick on the rim, and then I'm going to hit the left stick with the right stick. So it's a right flam, but left stick hits the rim, right stick hits the left stick. Okay, let me demonstrate that a couple times. Okay, so now let's go back to our simple eighth note rock groove with the cross stick flam on beat 4. It's also possible to put the cross stick flam on beats 2 and 4. That would sound like this. I do use that, and I'm hearing a lot more players use that too. And I think the reason is that the cross stick flam kind of sounds like finger snaps. You know, if you snap your fingers, it's usually not exactly at the same time. You know, it's usually like, for me anyway, left, right, you know. Anyway, the cross stick flam kind of simulates that sound, but a little louder. So I do hear that on recordings these days, and I love using it. Okay, so let's get back to the flam on the snare on beat 4. But this time, let's put the bass drum on the 16th note right after the flam. Okay, so it's going to be like 1, 2, 3, 4 E. 1, 2, 3, 4 E. Let me play that on the kit right now. Another possibility is a bass drum preceding the flam, right before the flam, on the 16th note before the flam. 1, 2, 3, a 4. 1, 2, 3, a 4. Sounds like this. And finally, how about bass flam, bass flam? Okay, so it's actually going to be a 4 E and. Okay, so it's going to go like 1, 2, 3, bass flam, 1, 2, 3, a 4 E and. Okay, on the kit that sounds like this. Okay, so the last 3 grooves I played they're kind of little mini fills. They're not flamboyant 10,000 note fills, but you don't always want that. Sometimes the music just calls for a little spark, and this is the kind of thing we're talking about, okay? Another great way to use these is as a song intro. The drummer starts out usually 1, 2, 3, 4, crash, and the whole song starts, right? But sometimes the drummer will play something right before that big crash, okay? So, why not 1, 2, 3, flam bass, or 1, 2, 3, bass flam, okay? I'll demonstrate all three of those. So I'm sure you've heard all of those in music before. I can think of, the last one I played, "Du-blah, du-blah." That one, Dave Weckl has a tune called "Garden Wall," and that's the intro fill to that song. Sounds great, So that's another way you can use flams. Now let's move on to playing the flam on the "and" instead of on the downbeat. Okay, we're going to put the flam on the "and" of 2. So I'm going to have like a beat that has the snare on 2 and 4, but also on the "and" of 2. Okay, check it out. Pretty cool, right? One of my favorite fills is this next one. And what's happening is you're putting the flam on the "and" of 2, but you're also playing the bass drum on the 16th right after that flam. It sounds super funky. It's only a couple of notes, but it's just really powerful to me. Here it is. All right, so that might be a little bit tricky. Let me explain it a little bit better. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. 1 and 2 and And I'll play it slower as well. Now we're kind of getting into the territory of, it's really a fill more than a groove. You got to mention the "Smells Like Teen Spirit" fill if you're going to talk about flams. This is a really famous fill that Dave Grohl played in the Nirvana song "Smells Like Teen Spirit." That fill goes like this. So that fill, he didn't invent that fill. He played it and it became very popular, but it's been played thousands of times in thousands of different songs. That fill is just flam, bass, hi-hat, bass. Flam, bass, hi-hat, bass. So that's a little tricky at first. Take it slow. Don't play it in time. Don't play it with a beat. Just play flam, bass, hi-hat, bass over and over again until you can get it fast. Once you can get it fast, try playing one measure time and then one measure of that fill, okay? You can also be creative with other people's fills. You learn somebody else's fill. You don't have to play it verbatim. You can play half of it. You can play it twice as long. You can put it on different drums, whatever you want to do. So let's take the Dave Grohl fill and let's just play it on beats 3 and 4. Okay, so I'll play 1, 2, 3 E, 4 E, 1. Another way to be creative with something is, maybe extend it, maybe find a way of repeating part of it. Okay, so This time I'm gonna go flam, bass, hi-hat, bass, and then I'm gonna add another hi-hat bass, and then I'm gonna hit the snare and a hi-hat opening. Okay, so that works. One last fill. This one's kind of tricky because it involves the bass drum kind of overlapping with the hi-hat. I'm gonna play it fast, and then after I play it fast, I'll just play what the hands play, and I'll just add couple bass drum notes, and then I'll add the full thing at a slower tempo so you can see how to do it. Okay, that's a wrap for Flams in the Groove. If any of you have any of your own flam grooves or flam fills that you want to share with me, please feel free to email me. Here's my email address. Also, if you're in the Buffalo, New York area and you're looking for drum lessons, I'm your guy. Give me an email. Or even if you're not in Buffalo, I do FaceTime lessons and I do Skype lessons. So keep me in mind and look for future YouTube rudiment videos. Take care.